Hello students, I am Dr. Meenakshi Mahur, Assistant Professor Zoology, Sri Samlaji Government College, Mandfia, Chittorgarh. Today my topic is transport of respiratory gas, that is oxygen in blood. Blood transports oxygen from respiratory organ to the tissue cells, and it also transports carbon dioxide from the tissue cells to the respiratory membrane. So today I will explain how blood transport the oxygen. So, in lower, smaller, and sluggish animals, the oxygen requirements is very low, and the oxygen is mainly transported in dissolved form in the plasma of blood. But in higher, larger, and metabolically active animals, oxygen needs are more, while oxygen is only slightly soluble in water or plasma. So, oxygen is mainly transported in some bound form, generally associated with some respiratory pigment like uh, hemoglobin. So, in human being, blood transports the oxygen in two ways. First is in solution form, and the second as oxyhemoglobin. So, in solution form, about 1 to 3% of oxygen is transported by blood. It is about 4.6 ml of oxygen enter each deciliter of blood in the lung, and only 0.17 ml of oxygen is transported in solution in the plasma. Now, blood transport as a oxyhemoglobin. So it is about 97 to 99% of oxygen is transported in chemical combination with hemoglobin in erythrocyte, that is RBC, red blood cells. Here you can see this is alveoli or singular form alveolus. This is alveolar membrane, and this is a capillary endothelium. So oxygen dissolved in plasma, which is about 1 to 3%. And as oxyhemoglobin, blood oxygen gets combined with hemoglobin and form HbO2. It is about 97 to 99%, and it transport to the cells. So, hemoglobin is formed of 4 iron containing porphyrin prosthetic group, which is attached to the globular protein, globin protein. Each porphyrin molecule is formed of 4 pyrrole rings, which is attached to the iron. Here you can see iron at the center. Globin protein is formed of 4 polypeptide chain, 2 alpha chain and 2 beta chain. And each Fe2 plus can bind one molecule of oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin, and this process is called oxygenation. So, one hemoglobin molecule can bind up to 4 molecules of oxygen, which depends upon saturation with oxygen, and it depends upon some factors. So here you can see this is RBC, here hemoglobin, oxygen from lung, it is bonded to hemoglobin, oxygen is bonded to hemoglobin, and then when it comes to tissue cell, then oxygen is released to the tissue cell. So, combination of hemoglobin and oxygen is very loose, and it is reversible action, and it depends upon the partial pressure of oxygen. So, increase in partial pressure of oxygen in lungs causes formation of oxyhemoglobin. It is bright red. But increase with decrease in when there is a when there is a decrease in partial pressure of oxygen in tissue, then this oxyhemoglobin get dissociates, and again it converts into hemoglobin and oxygen. So it depends on high pressure of partial pressure of oxygen and low pressure of partial pressure of oxygen in tissue. So uh, molecules with more oxygen bound to the heme are brighter red. So it is a bright red. And because of this, oxygenated arterial blood, where the hemoglobin is carrying 4 oxygen molecule, is always bright red. While venous blood, that is a deoxygenated, is darker red. It is bright red and is a darker red. Now, there are some factors which causes dissociation of hemoglobin and oxygen. So, first is the carbon dioxide level, blood pH, body temperature, environmental factors, and disease. They all affect oxygen carrying capacity and delivery. Then, a decrease in the oxygen carrying ability of hemoglobin can be observed with increase in carbon dioxide and temperature, and as well as decrease in pH within the body. And there are also some hereditary disease that decrease the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. Those diseases are sickle cell anemia and thalassemia. So here you can see these are alpha chain and this is beta chain. This is 2 alpha, this is 2 beta. They are polypeptide chains. Here you can see iron atom. This is heme group. So when high partial pressure of oxygen in lung, then the oxygen get bonded with hemoglobin. So you can see oxygen with hemoglobin, that is a oxyhemoglobin. When there is a low partial pressure of oxygen in tissue, then it get dissociates and oxygen is removed or get detached with hemoglobin. There is one oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. It is of hemoglobin. It is the graph which shows the percent saturation of hemoglobin with the change in partial pressure of oxygen at constant pH. So here you can see on y-axis there is a percent saturation. It is percent saturation of oxygen, and here you can see oxygen partial pressure in mmHg. It is in percentage. So this curve shows that there is a progressive increase in the percent saturation of hemoglobin with increase in partial pressure of oxygen up to a level when it becomes constant. So here you can see constant at here at about 30%, 30% saturation, that is at 20 mm Hg, and 75% saturation at 40 mm Hg. Here you can see. Then 97% saturation at about 95 mm Hg. And you can also see like this, that at 26.8 partial pressure of oxygen, percent saturation is about 50, means there is a 50% saturation at 26.8 mmHg, that is the oxygen partial pressure. And there is a 95.8% saturation at 80 mmHg, that is a oxygen partial pressure. So a normal oxygen dissociation curve is sigmoid. There are some factors which affect oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. So, if there is a partial decrease in partial pressure of oxygen, then curve will shift to the right. Okay. When there is an increase in a partial pressure of carbon dioxide, then the curve shifts to right. Partial pressure means when the oxygen dissociation curve turns to right side and oxygen binding capacity of hemoglobin is lowered with increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide is known as Bohr effect. It is so as the higher concentration of carbon dioxide stimulates dissociation of oxyhemoglobin and release of oxygen. Then there is an increase in hydrogen ion concentration and decrease in pH. Means increase in acidity cause the curve turn to right side. Then body temperature, oxygen dissociation curve turns to right side with increase in temperature. Here, right? Then there is also one more thing. If there is excess of 2,3-diphosphoglycerate in RBC, that is DPG in RBC, then the curve turns to right side. So, higher carbon dioxide, lower pH, higher temperature causes curve turns to right side. Now, shift to left. It indicates acceptance or association of oxygen by hemoglobin. In fetal blood, because fetal hemoglobin has a more affinity for oxygen than the adult hemoglobin, then the curve turns to left side. If there is a decrease in hydrogen ion concentration and increase in pH, that is, if there is a decrease in alkalinity, then the curve turns to left side. So these are the factors which affect oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve, and they are mainly carbon dioxide, pH and temperature. While passing through the tissue capillaries, the hemoglobin release about 5 ml of oxygen per deciliter of blood. So the venous blood still has about 14.8 ml of oxygen. It is still 75% saturated at 40 mmHg. Now I want to add one more thing, that just to remind you that each hemoglobin can carry 4 oxygen. So 1 RBC contains 250 million hemoglobin molecule. So it can carry 1 billion oxygen. 1 gram of hemoglobin combine 1.3 ml of oxygen. So 100 ml of blood contains 15 gram of hemoglobin. So 100 ml of blood contains 20 ml of oxygen, that is 50 into 1.34 ml per gram. So 100 ml of blood contains 20 ml of oxygen. This is just for your knowledge. So today I explained how blood transports the oxygen. Blood transports the oxygen in 2 ways, in solution form and as a oxyhemoglobin. In solution form, blood transport about 1.3%, and as a hemoglobin, as a oxyhemoglobin, there is a 90 to 95%. 97 to 99%. Then I explain hemoglobin molecule, the structure of hemoglobin, then how partial pressure of oxygen affects the dissociation or dissociation and association of hemoglobin and oxygen. This is a oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. And what are the factors which affect this curve? Thank you.